Good evening, everybody. Who have we got people there? Fantastic. I think we're here. I'm trying not to ask the question at my live that I do every time, but I have, and we are. So oh, great. We've got some people jumping on. Okay, let me just get my screen all sorted. And we're all good. So thank you for joining us. What have we got? Get myself sorted here. Sorry, I can't think and speak and use my computer at the same time. Need to get better at that. Well, yes. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our latest interview with WiseOceans. My name is Charlotte, as I think most of you probably know. And if you don't, hello. And we're thrilled today to welcome Michal and Ninja from Cyan Planet. They're going to tell you a little bit more about themselves in detail, but just to quickly introduce themselves. After an unforgettable experience where they got to rescue a trapped turtle underwater, they were inspired to really, join forces, make a difference and inspire others to make good choices. Michal brings creative and technology skills. Ninja is a marine and environmental scientist. So together they've created these immersive experiences that can, this just really speaks to us as WiseOceans because we're all about the positivity and the inspiration. So they want to inspire people to learn, to learn through this incredible experience and get inspired and make positive choices for our oceans. What could be better? And they're here. They've got an exciting Kickstarter campaign. So they're going to tell us all about that, and hopefully people can get involved. As ever, please put any questions that you have. I've got a bunch of questions, but we love to feature your questions as well. So please put any questions you have in the comments and we'll get to as many as we can. So welcome, Michal and Ninja.
Hello, thank you for having me.
It's so great to have you here today. I should say you're in Germany right now, despite the whales behind you. Like many of us, kind of a little landlocked through lockdown, but welcome. And I wonder if one of you might tell just a little bit more about Cyan Planet, what you do, and perhaps a little bit about what's going on right now.
Yeah, so Cyan Planet is we are a team of marine biologists, developers, artists, 3D artists, and we've shared passion to connect people with the ocean through immersive media. That's why we've developed a project, How is the Water, where we get a chance to become a dolphin in VR, in virtual reality, and expanded it now to really build this digital twin of the ocean. So you can embody different marine animals, experience how it is to be a shark, for example, and also experience it on different devices. So it's not only VR, but also mobile devices, computers, and so on. The whole project is basically an impact platform to connect people, share our passion with the ocean, for the ocean with others, and also go that step further and bridge that gap between getting engaged with something and also like proactively supporting something and acting for marine conservation. So we want to connect marine organizations with specific causes directly to our How is the Water, our digital ocean, where you can experience how it is to be a marine animal.
Fantastic. I mean, just what a great concept.
Thank you.
Really, really great. So in terms of some of these immersive experiences, go into a little bit more detail of some of the things that that people can do. You mentioned being a dolphin. That sounds good.
Sorry, I think I didn't catch the
Oh,
question. Sorry.
Hi, sorry, Nina. Yeah, I was just saying, we've got some of these incredible experiences that you mentioned there, being a dolphin and things like that. You could perhaps give us a little bit more information about that?
Sure. I mean, so for How is the Water, as Michal said, we are connecting this real world impact with in-game actions. And depending on which animal you are, of course, you can experience different things. Like, for example, as a dolphin, you can also expand your senses. You can do echolocation. As a shark, you can do electroreception. So it's, I mean, maybe for the ones that are not that don't know virtual reality itself, it's it really transports you into a different place. It's not that you're watching something, but you are being somewhere. So and yeah, depending on which animal you embody, it really depends. It also depends, of course, on the scientific progress, because we do a lot of science communication. We incorporate that. So depending on what research findings occur in the future, we can of course always implement that.
Brilliant.
So if we find now that dolphins have a certain behavior in a certain situation, we can also implement that. So it's really you get to experience the ocean as it is from all the different perspectives.
Wonderful. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about your project and the Kickstarter. I won't forget that. But also part of tonight is also for our audience looking at careers as well. So I also wondered perhaps, Nina, if you could talk a little bit about your background, how it is you got into what you're doing now, because so many of our viewers will be, perhaps at university now or just finished and so on, and thinking about wanting to get into marine conservation careers in some kind of way.
Sure. So probably first off, I can say I didn't plan to end up where I am now. So that's I think always
way, right?
Yeah, that's what always happens, I guess. So I mean, I studied environmental science in my bachelor in a landlocked place, so it had really nothing to do with marine science in the first place. But I was always in love with the ocean. I was already diving even before I started my bachelor in the first place. And also dolphins were the animals that inspired me to do whatever for environmental protection. That was the moment when I first saw wild dolphins that I thought I want to help protecting their habitat and I want to help protecting the environment. And that was the moment I decided to dedicate my life to that. And yeah, it sounds very cheesy, but it was really
there's a reason why everybody
very important part of it. Yeah. Very important part of my whole progress through my life. And then after my bachelor, I started with marine biological resources in an international master's program, IMBRC, and that brought me all around the world, or all around Europe, let's say, because every semester you study in a different country.
Oh, wonderful.
That was really amazing because it also really gives you a lot of insights into very different ways of working and different habitats and different approaches, how people work with it. So yeah, that was really great. And during that time, Michal and I already had founded Cyan Planet, so we were working on that already then. Michal full time and moving it all forward, and me doing my master and somehow intertwining it with Cyan Planet. Yeah, and that's how I got to be where I am now. So I never thought I would do anything with virtual reality or immersive technology. That came all from Michal's side, and it just once I learned about it, I knew that's the best medium to bring the ocean to people and to make them experience how it is, because the ocean is incredibly far away from our lives. Even as marine biologists, we all don't live there still.
Yeah, we would like that in lockdown,
right? Exactly. So and that's, I think, the major challenge in marine science in general, to communicate what we are actually doing, because it's how can you grasp that if you are not right into it? So that's why virtual reality was for me the best answer, and that's how we then founded Cyan Planet. And yeah, of course, when you found your own company, then you can become whatever you want, basically. So.
But I think it's a good example of just saying yes to opportunities and having your mind open to the opportunities and thinking, well, I was going to go there, or I wasn't sure I was going to go there. So I think that's a good good advice for anybody who perhaps thinks they're going to go one direction. Don't be afraid to go the other direction when the opportunity arises, for sure. And Michal, what about you? So you came from a slightly different background, but you have a talk, because we have so many questions get forwarded to us through our website and other means of people who haven't done a marine biology degree. And then they get to a point and they've worked in the corporate world, and then they're like, no, what does my life mean? And I want to save the ocean. I'm paraphrasing, but we get so many people who want to do that and want to kind of transfer and use their skills. So yeah, really interesting to hear kind of how you made your journey through.
Sure. Yeah. So I started I established the first immersive media production company in Prague, Czech Republic, some 7 years ago, and everything was going really well until we have saved that turtle in Brazil while freediving. And even though before I was already freediving and really like discovered that connection with the ocean, you know, that state of the mind when you are immersed and, I don't know, hanging down there in 20 meters and just you are floating in that suspense, or your mind enters this flow state, or how to describe it. I mean, it's similar to trying to explain immersive media, because like just PowerPoint doesn't do just, it's like dancing about architecture. So so that connection been there already before, but the moment when we saved the turtle, I knew that I want to use what I know, what I'm doing for good, and shifted my career path totally and said, okay, we have this Go 360 immersive production company here in Prague. What can we do with it to transform it and to do something about it, so we can do for good and also connect more people with the ocean? Because for me, it was exactly that. It was 2 or 3 these transcendental experiences that each of them pushes you closer to marine conservation, or doing proactively something for marine conservation, freediving, saving a turtle. And if I can create, or if we as a team in Cyan can create similar experiences for other people and get them closer, you know, and poke that behavioral change in them, then extremely happy.
I love just how accessible it can be for people who, for all kinds of reasons, are never going to be able to get to the ocean, especially some of the kind of more tropical, where, you know, some of the cool, I mean, there's cool stuff in the cold water as well, I know. But you know, and all, you know, other people for whom you know, just diving is never going to be something they can do for, you know, various reasons. So yeah, fantastic. And as I say, it just, for us in WiseOceans, it speaks to us completely, because we're all about inspiring and engaging people in the ocean, with the belief that they're you know, people are never going to want to protect it unless they know about it and love it and so on. So yeah, that's yeah, just yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
We love what you do.
Yeah, because I mean, take diving for example. Either it's a very expensive hobby for whoever entered the diving, and you can always get a better certification and better gear and traveling and all that. But even freediving is a bit of an expensive hobby if you are somewhere landlocked. And of course, virtual reality is still a privileged technology. But thanks to the progress, nowadays you have finally headsets that you just put on, cost $300, which compared to a full diving gear, if you can dive, is the cheaper option. Nice. And also you can use your mobile phone. So nowadays anyone can, with mobile phone and a headset, you can get transported to all around the planet.
I'm itching to have a go now. We've had a question from Hugo, He says hi. Are some threats for marine animals like plastic present in the game, in the experience?
Yes, they are. I mean, it's quite difficult because, as you said, we are also very much about positivity and optimism. We don't want to go full on just showing all the bad things that are happening, because that usually drives people off that are not already interested in the topic. And we want to get people interested in the topic that are not yet as aware. So we always have to find the right balance, of course, between showing the beauty and showing the ugly, let's say.
Yeah, you can't have your fingers in the air, totally.
Exactly. But yes, we do have, even in our prototype, we do have a garbage patch where you have to go through safely with your dolphin companions. You also save a manta from a ghost net. So also at that point, maybe I can say tomorrow we are also going to stream parts of our prototype play at I think you are UK, right? So 7 p.m. your time. On our Kickstarter page. So if you're interested in seeing how our prototype looks like, that's the best.
Well, we brought up the Kickstarter campaign. Let's hear a little bit more about what this is all about, because it finishes tomorrow, right? So anybody watching now, or at least catch up in the next 24 hours or so, can get involved. Tell us more.
Yeah, so the campaign is funded, but we of course are happy if more people jump on board and help us. Thank you, in our journey. I think we have some stretch goals to support that. So of course, more people we gather, or we start building this movement, because we are really at the beginning. As Ninja mentioned, we have just the first prototype. So we are at the beginning of our journey, and more people, the easier the journey will be. Yeah, that's where we are now. So as you said, I think the campaign ends at midnight Pacific time. So until then, you can join us on our journey to connect people with the ocean using immersive media. And yeah, the Kickstarter campaign itself, it's been a 4, 5, maybe even 6 months long process. So nothing really easy. We learned a lot, and also went into all the different extremes with being extremely happy, and because it's a roller coaster. The whole Kickstarter campaign is just one big roller coaster, and we can't wait when we can take some time off now after the campaign, have a week to just dive somewhere or go hiking, and then jump again back in work.
Yeah, you need to have the balance, that's for sure. We'll get a link in. I can't type and talk at the same time, but I'll get a link in the chat so everybody can follow that through. Well, talking about, like you were saying, it's hard work what you're doing, and we've spoken to quite a few people recently who have gone down the route of creating their own business or non-profit or whatever, in order to kind of make it happen for them, because sometimes you can't find the work that you want to do, but then you start running a business and doing Kickstarters and all of that kind of stuff. So I think, again, one of the useful things we try to talk about are the skills that it's worth building up, as you're going through your studies and in the early parts of your career. So are there any skills that you use on a regular basis now that you never thought you would when you were first starting out and doing your bachelor's or something like that? What skills do you find really valuable now that you never thought you might need? I'll ask you, Nina.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, you can ask both of us, because I think it's probably quite different.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, what I use much more now than I ever thought I would need was marketing, which I never actually really learned. It's a learning by doing experience now, and I wish I learned it professionally a bit more.
Yeah. Now, so if there's a marketing module, take it, right?
Absolutely. No, because I mean, I think, of course, this is now a bit different because I'm not directly into marine biology in that sense as going out into the field and writing papers, but still, wherever you work, you will always have to be able to sell what you are doing, because you will always need to get funding. You will always need to be able to communicate and make people excited about it so that you can actually do it. It doesn't matter if you're working as an employee for somebody, or if you're doing it yourself, you always have to convince. So that's definitely something that I never thought that I would be using. I thought I would be happily doing my research and that's it.
Yeah,
but no.
I think it's really true. And I think there's opportunities, you know, when you are at university or whatever, you can, maybe there's a society that you're part of and you run their Facebook page, or you try and get people involved in a whatever it is that you're doing. You know, there are ways of getting experience of this, and it's always going to be handy, because most organizations in marine conservation are not large, so you're going to be involved in funding bids and marketing and doing Facebook Live interviews and things like that. Yeah, absolutely. And what about you, Michal?
Well, I studied business administration, so all that. Yes, exactly. So all my life, I somehow knew that I want to be building my own business. Cyan Planet is my 4th business, so that part came easy. I of course didn't expect that I'll need to know what difference or how to identify, for example, a grouper or a sweet leaf, and how to assess coral reef ecology when I'm just hanging there above a transect. I didn't even know what a transect is. Somewhere, you know, in Red Sea, and trying to surveying and trying to figure out how to use a 360 camera to best assess coral reef ecology. And I mean, it's been all these skills that are probably then very specific to specific fields, of course. But in general, I would say, especially during the time at university, during your studies, that's the best opportunity to really go for different lectures and just get. You don't need much. But I was, for example, I was doing business administration and secretly attending lectures at the law faculty.
I love it.
So you can do that, and you can really expand your horizon, and then you at least know something. The entry into that field or area is much easier if you just have a half foot in there, you know. So yeah, and then of course standard networking, and as Ninja said, be able to sell your idea, be able to sell whatever you want, because it doesn't matter if you are applying for funding for your research, or if you are funding a company, or if you, I don't know, want a more free time.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's again coming back to the people that contact us who have not come through the traditional marine biology background. I think it's encouraging for them to hear that, you know, there you are actually getting out in the field and learning what transects are and doing the surveys and getting involved. And I think that's really, you know, I mean, you know, if you are going to go into research, then you probably will go back to university and do a master, you know, and do that. But there are lots of people working in the field in marine conservation who've done MBAs or whatever and not. So I think, again, hopefully that will inspire anybody listening who's kind of coming through that alternative route. We've got sorry, I haven't got my glasses on. Is it Mila? It says, congratulations, love the idea of the game. Where is it going to be available? On computer, PlayStation, or Xbox? So it's going to be on phones, right?
It's going to be, it's a multi-platform distribution. So you'll be able to play it on computers, mobile devices, VR headsets, threaded or mobile. And we are also, I mean, depends on the development, on the success of the project. We would love to port it to consoles too, because I mean that's another big part of the market. So somewhere down the road,
Kickstarter, right?
Probably. I would rather not do more Kickstarters. It's still too fresh. But maybe
too soon.
No, it's really a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, huge congratulations for getting
Thank
as
you.
far as you've got. It's really, really fantastic. So I'm gonna sort of finish up now with some questions. Now, we started the interview talking about this inspirational moment where you found this turtle, and maybe you can tell us a little bit more about that as well. But I've got two questions really. One is, what's your favorite marine creature? And the second one is, what's your most unforgettable moment in the ocean? And I'm going to just say at the moment you can't pick the turtle story because we've already featured that one. So you'd have to pick another one. But you can talk about the turtle story because it sounds amazing.
So one
Ninja.
first. I go first. Okay. That's a very difficult question. I mean, I know the moment because obviously, if it's an unforgettable moment, then I didn't forget it, so I have it at hand. But and that was quite a scary one. It was I was the first time just snorkeling actually in a very deep water column that was more than 1,000 meters deep during a boat survey, and we said, oh, it's so nice and so warm, and let's go into the water. And I love swimming and I love diving and I love the ocean and I feel great in water usually, but that moment when I looked down and it was just blue and it just got darker and darker blue, and that's it, like no way to see the seafloor. That was pretty scary. And that was also a moment where I really realized, okay, I really love the ocean, but I also have the deepest respect for it and for everything that lives in it, because it's just far beyond what I can imagine. Yes. So that was an incredible moment.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really important kind of memory to have, kind of tucked away in the back of your brain. I think that's will be a valuable experience for sure.
Yeah, every time when I lose my respect for anything ocean related, I will just think about that, and it will be back immediately.
I get asked a lot. I do a lot of teaching kids about marine, and they often ask me, what's the most dangerous thing in the ocean? And in fact, it's a bit of a boring answer, but I always say like the sea, the weather, the tide, and of course, if they're 6, that's really not a very exciting answer. But actually, the thing that's the thing that has scared me in the ocean is just, strong waves or currents and things like that. not the animals in the ocean.
Exactly. I mean, the animals, you cannot usually just, if you behave right, nothing will happen. But there is no way to assess the wave that it will treat you kindly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And about the animal, I think I don't really have a favorite animal in that sense, because every time when I start spending some more time on researching it or investigating it or just looking at it, then I see more and more of what is amazing about it. And then the next amazing thing comes, and I'm even more excited. I mean, it's actually a problem when we do the social media posts, because I could put a picture of every fish, like, but it's so beautiful. And then people have to calm me down, like, think of the average.
That's when I usually come in.
Yeah.
And have to say,
no, that's okay.
Yeah, it's a picture of a fish, but there's a fish and a fish.
Absolutely. And what about you, Michal?
Well, for me, it was first I started freediving. I already talked about that, and then it was the
rubbish. I haven't practiced very much, to be fair, so that's probably why I'm rubbish.
And then it was that moment in Fernando, Noronha National Park in Brazil. Amazing place, and we were freediving there with Ninja, and a bit stupidly at the entrance of one port, not the best place to freedive, but nobody was there, so it's a really small island. And we were freediving, and we found this shipwreck, and we were freediving there and getting close to it. And then we spotted a turtle under a part of a wreck, and we're like, okay, nice experience, a turtle. But then we were able to get very close to it, and it was still not moving. And it kind of like looked like it's trying to move, but not really going anywhere. And so after a short discussion if we should do anything, because you should not touch anything underwater, of course, and all that, like, okay, but what if it's stuck there? So it took us like, I don't know, 5 minutes to decide if it is stuck or not. Like, it's a sea turtle, so it can stay underwater for some time, but then still, so we dived down and gently pushed it out. And it immediately swam up to the water surface to breathe and stayed there for a couple of seconds. And in that moment, when you realize that you actually saved a life, and you, through your actions, you decided life or death.
Yeah. Well, the odds
that
of
was
that
a
turtle
super strong
getting to
moment.
that age in the first place are astronomical. So to save it is just
Yeah,
wonderful.
and even being there in that moment, you know, in time,
Yeah.
was
Burnt into your memory.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, that brings us really nicely to the end of our interview. Again, as I say, we'll get links put up on the comments to, if anybody's interested, go and check out the Kickstarter and what you're all about. And thank you both so much for joining us. It's really exciting to have something just so innovative and new and positive as well. We just love it. It's just everything about what we love. So really great that for you to have joined us today. For our viewers, join me again on Saturday. We've got another interview. Head to our events. It's all there. And I'll be excited to meet with you all again. So for now, I shall bid adieu and auf Wiedersehen. And thank you everybody for joining us today. Lots of likes coming through there on the comments. That's great, fantastic. So we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Bye.